Former All Black stars Jeff Wilson and Muliaina believe the time has come for a fresh start in New Zealand's captaincy, arguing that Scott Barrett's tenure as skipper ultimately took too heavy a toll on both the player and the team, with Scott Robertson's departure earlier this month following an underwhelming 2-year spell in charge. The All Blacks find themselves at crossroads. A new head coach will soon take the reins ahead of July's Nations Championship, and one of the biggest decisions awaiting that coach will be the appointment of a captain. For Wilson and Muliaina, the answer is clear. The leadership group needs resetting, and that likely means moving on from Barrett. A bold call that didn't pay off when Robertson was first appointed All Blacks head coach. One of his earliest and most significant decisions was to name Scott Barrett as captain. The Lock had worked closely with Robertson during their highly successful time together at the Crusaders, where they claimed multiple Super Rugby titles. That familiarity and shared success clearly influenced the decision. However, the appointment was not without controversy. Many observers expected 2023 World Rugby Player of the Year Ardie Savea to inherit the armband, given his stature in the game and his growing influence within the squad. Instead, Robertson opted for Barrett, making a statement about the type of leadership he wanted to build around. In hindsight, that bold call is now being scrutinized. Barrett's tenure was marked by inconsistency, both in terms of team performances and his own individual form. Injuries disrupted his rhythm, and as results faltered, questions began to surface. Was he the right man to lead? Could he command authority at test level in the same way he had at franchise level? And perhaps most critically, was the added responsibility affecting his ability to perform? As the All Blacks struggled to consistently hit the heights expected of them, criticism intensified. Some commentators went as far as suggesting that Barrett's place in the starting 15 was no longer guaranteed on merit alone, a dangerous position for any captain to be in. Leadership under pressure. Speaking on the breakdown, Jeff Wilson reflected candidly on the challenges Barrett faced. There's no doubt it was a real challenge and difficult for a number of reasons, Wilson said. He was injured. The team didn't quite perform as well. In Wilson's view, the captaincy became an added burden at a time when Barrett was already battling to rediscover his best form. Leadership at All Blacks level is an all-consuming role. It extends far beyond matchday duties, encompassing media scrutiny, internal management, and the expectation to embody the identity of New Zealand rugby. Wilson pointed out that Barrett's recent decision to take a non-playing sabbatical from Super Rugby in 2026 speaks volumes. I know he's taking a non-playing sabbatical, taking a break out of Super Rugby, which I really respect, Wilson said. And I'd love him to focus on being the best lock in the world. For Wilson, the message is clear. Barrett needs space to concentrate on his core role as a second-row forward, rather than shouldering the immense responsibility of leading the national side. It was too much of a drain on him, he added. It was just hard for him to focus on getting back to what he was as a player. It's unlikely in 26 that he's the captain. The sabbatical factor. Muliaina echoed Wilson's sentiments, emphasizing how Barrett's sabbatical complicates any case for retaining the captaincy. He was passionate, Muliaina said. When you cut the cameras, he was really passionate about that role. He's a leader, but it drained him. That passion was evident behind the scenes, according to Muliaina, but the weight of expectation, combined with the team's struggles and the subsequent review process, appeared to take its toll. That responsibility, everything that was going on, and perhaps the environment and the review that's come out, Muliaina explained. Also, he's going to be off Super Rugby at a pivotal moment when a new coach is going to come in. It probably hindered his performance. The timing is crucial. A new head coach will want to build cohesion early, establishing combinations and leadership structures during Super Rugby before the international season begins. With Barrett absent from that environment, it becomes difficult to justify him as the on-field figurehead. If I look to the future right now, we need a leader where you don't question his ability on the field, Muliaina continued. You have youngsters nipping at your heels, but you are the man going out there and the number one name. For Muliaina, that certainty is essential. A captain must not only inspire but also command selection on form and reputation. Any doubts about performance risk undermining authority within the group. He's going to come back a better player, Muliaina acknowledged of Barrett. But now is the time a new coach is going to appoint someone else. Savea in the frame, but not the favorite with Barrett's future as captain in doubt. Attention naturally shifts to Ardie Savea. The dynamic loose forward remains one of the most influential players in world rugby and would appear an obvious candidate. Savea's credentials are undeniable. As a former World Rugby Player of the Year, he consistently performs at an elite level, often carrying the All Blacks through difficult patches with his relentless work rate and leadership by example. However, Wilson stopped short of endorsing him for the captaincy. He is an influential All Black, Wilson acknowledged. But one of the things I love to see Ardie be is the very best 7 or the very best number 8 in the world, and be that on a consistent basis. Wilson's concern is not about Savea's ability to lead, but about maximizing his impact. In his view, the All Blacks need Savea performing at peak level every week, unencumbered by additional pressures. Instead, Wilson has identified another candidate he believes better fits the brief: Codie Taylor. The case for Codie Taylor Wilson outlined a clear set of characteristics he believes the next All Blacks captain must embody: experience, world-class ability in their position, loyalty, sacrifice, and mana, a deeply rooted sense of authority and respect. I think Codie Taylor has all of those things, Wilson said. Taylor, a seasoned hooker with years of test experience, has long been a central figure in the All Black setup. Like Barrett, he has also taken a non-playing sabbatical in the past, but crucially remained based in New Zealand, dedicating himself to regaining peak condition. He's put everything you possibly could into the All Black jersey, Wilson said. He's incredibly well-respected, both on and off the field. Hookers often serve as tactical linchpins, involved in line-out calls and close-quarter decision-making. From that central role, Taylor would be well-positioned to influence the game and connect forwards and backs. "I'm all about putting the All Black jersey first. That's it," he said. "And for me, he fits the bill." A leadership reset, Muliaina agreed, emphasizing that leadership cohesion must be the priority after a turbulent period. "The captain is one of the most important things the All Blacks need right here, right now, given what's gone on over the last couple of years," he said. For Muliaina, it's not just about the individual wearing the armband, but about building a connected and aligned leadership group around them. "When you look at a Codie Taylor, he's going to start," he said. "The most important part now is your leadership group. You got to get a really good connection in terms of what your leadership group is." He suggested that at times during Barrett's tenure, that connection appeared to falter. "There were moments there when they weren't connected," Muliaina observed. "Codie Taylor's a great leader, but he's also resilient. He's gone through a lot of the hurt and form slumps." A dissenting voice not everyone on the panel agreed. Former All Blacks back rower Steve Bates offered his backing to Savea. "I do like Ardie, and I think he would really bring a team together." Bates said that Savea's emotional intelligence, humility, and natural charisma have long been praised. Many believe he already leads in all but name, setting standards through his actions and connecting deeply with teammates. A pivotal decision looms for Wilson and Muliaina. The path forward is clear. Allow Scott Barrett to rediscover his best form without the burden of leadership. Consider Ardie Savea carefully, but prioritize his on-field dominance. And seriously evaluate Codie Taylor as the steady, respected figure capable of uniting the squad. Whoever ultimately receives the armband will inherit both opportunity and pressure. After a challenging chapter, the All Blacks are seeking renewal, and their next captain will play a defining role in shaping what comes next.